Hello and welcome to another video and a happy new year to the ones of you who watched this in January. I will make a little series about the Derrynaflan Trail, which is a trail in County Tipperary, which I recently only discovered, even though it has been around since 2015, apparently. And I have no script as usual, so I can't tell you how many episodes there will be. It will be more of a video diary, I guess, than a tutorial, but you will probably learn a few things as we go along. So the Derrynaflan Trail is, as I said, in County Tipperary, and I came across it while I was mapping buildings in County Tipperary. That's a new task that was opened, I think, yesterday or the day before on the task manager, which you find at tasks.openstreetmap.ie, and they're tasks for several counties or areas in Ireland because we're trying to map all the buildings in Ireland. And I started just south of Killenaule, and I'm working my way east because it's an area I've been to a couple of times, and it's just nicer to recognize places. And I came across a couple of church ruins that were mapped, and the source was given as Derrynaflan Heritage Trail project, and that got me thinking. And they were only mapped as nodes, so I've done a few improvements already, but I want to map the whole trail. It's a driving trail, according to the website, so I won't map the routes because you can live in Thurles and join the trail, or you can live in Dublin and join the trail. So it's not quite like the Wild Atlantic Way or something like that, where you have a kind of prescribed route. Not even the Wild Atlantic Way is a really prescribed route, as we learned last summer. So I'll just map the heritage sites, which are mostly areas in mapping terms, so I will use a relation for that, and a multi-polygon relation, I guess, rather than a route, which you could do with a bus route or something like that. And I'll show you the ones that are already mapped in a way. And I ran an overpass turbo query, just looking for the source that resembles Derrynaflan, because I couldn't remember the whole source, all the words. So these are the ones that are already on it, but there are more in their brochure, which is available online and which I will use. So first of all, what I'm going to do is create the relation and then add the first building, which is the Heritage Centre in Killenaule, which is where you can start your trail. If you look at Killenaule, it starts at the Slieveardagh Heritage Centre, which was already mapped, but there was a tag missing, so the name didn't show on the map. So I've improved that, and we'll start with that. So I'm on openstreetmap.org to start the mapping, and I'll use the ID editor for this, even though it might be easier for me in JOSM, but since I believe that most of you are beginners, I don't want to overwhelm you with all the technicalities, so I think the ID editor will do. And since you can't copy what I'm doing anyway, because once this trail is mapped, it's mapped, you can just take it as an example. So I'm logged in with my username, which is bunicycling, in case you didn't know. And I'll zoom in on the Heritage Centre. And you see, because I only recently added this information, it won't render in all the zoom levels. So this is zoom level 18, which you can see in the URL. But if I zoom in onto 19, it vanishes. But if I press Ctrl F5 to refresh the page, it should show. Yeah, it does. So I'll just click on Edit to go into the editing mode. And I had started something earlier, which I decided to include in the video, so I have to discard the changes. So this is the building here. It used to be a church, so I added that as well. It was just mapped as building, yes, and I changed it to church because that's what the original purpose of the building was. But it is not a church anymore. It's not used as a church. It's used as the tourist information. So I added building : use office. The roof shape is gabled. Some people map it as pitched. I've come across that, and then I have to go and change it all to gabled, because gabled is what is used on OpenStreetMap. I could also add the address, but it makes more sense to add it for the node that somebody put here for the tourist information. So I've already done that. I've added Killenaule as the city, which is not a city, but anyway. So if I look in the brochure here, the Derrynaflan Trail, and unfortunately, it's a great brochure, but unfortunately it's all images, so you can't copy and paste the text. But anyway, if you scroll down to the Slieveardagh Heritage Centre, Killenaule, it says here somewhere, I saw that, it is on River Street. I can't find it now. But that is something that I can add to the map, which is, helpful if you have a sat-nav. So I just highlight this road here, and I don't know if it continues to be called River Street after the bridge, because it could be called River Street because it leads to the bridge. So I'm just going to highlight this part here and add River Street. Killenaule is not mapped very well. I mean, the buildings are now there, but very few street names and very, very, very few businesses. So if you go there, if you start the trail, why not walk around for half an hour and add a few details on Street Complete? So I've added that to the street now, and I can add it to the Heritage Centre as well, and just type in river. Well, I don't even have to type the whole thing because it's smart and it just comes up here. So that's the Heritage Centre. Now I'm in trouble because I said I was gonna add a relation, and I was gonna do it as a multi-polygon relation, which I can't do if I have a node there. So I might transfer all this information from the node onto the building, which is much easier on the ID editor than it is in JOSM. As far as I know, I haven't found out. So what you do there is you change from the table view into the text view, I guess is what you call it. And that makes it look like it's in Notepad or something like that. And you can copy all of it. Yep, sometimes you don't have, sometimes there are things that you shouldn't copy. But in this case, I think we can copy or even cut all of it. So the node is now empty, and then I highlight the building and I just add all of that there, paste that there, and go back into the table view, and that's all cleaned up now. So I can delete the node now because it's empty anyway, and highlight the building again. So that's the building mapped. And I'll go down, and it isn't part of any relations because the relation hasn't been created. So what I do is I click on the plus, and then I can't choose a parent relation because it hasn't been created. I will be able to do this in the following videos, but if I just click here, left click, it gives me the option to create a new relation, which I click, and then I will use the multi-polygon. Choose that down here, and I'll just choose area, I guess. And I could also add heritage, yes. So it has some description in it. And then I have to add this, add a role, and it's either inner or outer. They're gonna be all outer, I think. And then I should give it a name. So that's the name for the relation. And I will use Derrynaflan Trail because that's what it is. Derrynaflan Trail. Then I can add the website, and I'll just use this here, slieveardagh.com/history/Derrynaflan-trail. So website. And I can also use that as the source. And that should do. I'll save that now. Added tourist information tags to building created relation sources, and I'll use, oh, and I also added the street name, added, and then I also add the hashtag, which I probably will forget in the upcoming videos, Derrynaflan Trail. And sources is and I've given the source for all the other information on the building, so that should be okay. And upload that. And click on the logo at the top left corner. Wait for a few seconds and then refresh the page to see if there's anything to see. This should move around a bit, I guess. I could have also added there was a bit of parking space there. Because for a visitor center that is useful to know. It would also be useful if people have electric vehicles, if there is a charging point in Killenaule, which I don't know because I haven't been there in a while, and also that's not something I'm concerned with really. There might be, who knows. So if you go and try this trail out, please add that information, it would be very useful. There's also a chipper somewhere. I vaguely remember having been to a chipper in Killenaule. I think it might be actually this building there. I'm not sure. So I'll refresh now. That didn't do anything, at least the street name hasn't appeared. Now it has, so it has a river street here now. This doesn't seem to have moved, but that might just be because it's on that zoom level. I wouldn't worry about that. So that's the first part of the video, and I'll continue on with a second part, and I haven't decided yet what to do with that, but just stay tuned and I'll see you in the next video. Happy mapping. Bye.